Yes, Ballers, Stobbsy here with another episode of What It Takes, this time with James Ward-Prowse of Southampton in England, the free kick king, the set piece legend, you know him well. Now, if you didn't know already, Southampton have recently launched a new academy, the Virgin Media Football Academy. This will be going into schools all across the UK with live lessons, cool training videos, all designed to get pupils back on the pitch and smashing it. Let's chat to James about it and see what it takes to go pro. Right, James, first and foremost, why should school pupils be buzzing about the Virgin Media Football Academy? What is so good about it?
Well, I think to have the lessons from the Southampton coaches is incredibly exciting. Having come through the academy myself, I can only talk for the quality of the sessions, and it's all designed around making you a better player, but equally to get up and have some fun. That's the main lesson that I had coming through the academy.
And do you think this is something that you'd have loved when you were in school yourself?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I was incredibly lucky to go through the academy and have that journey with the club, but for that to be extended out to the pupils is amazing, and I think it will hopefully inspire the kids to get involved and to hopefully become the next Southampton player.
Okay, and now I just want to talk to you a little bit about what it takes to become a pro, starting with belief. Do you remember the day that you got scouted, like that exact moment that you got told that you were going for trials?
No, I can't remember. No, I remember turning up to the Southampton facility at Wellington Sports Ground, and it was a bit surreal. I think the jump up from obviously the Sunday League to be with a professional club was really exciting and obviously nerve-wracking, but I wanted to make sure I made the most of the opportunity.
How did you prepare for that trial? What did you have to go through? What did you think about before it?
I think it's nerve-wracking to be in a new environment. I think with other players, you're always thinking about how good the others are and whether I'll be good enough or anything. But I think you touched on it earlier. It's about that belief that you have in yourself, that you are there because you deserve to be there. You've been chosen to be there and to not let the opportunity go by.
So you just dealt with those nerves by just believing in yourself and sort of, realising that you're there because you deserve it.
Yeah, and I think that's definitely the case even for me now. When you are on, the Premier League stage, you have to have that belief that you are where you are because of your work and that you deserve to be there, and you have to have that belief in yourself. Otherwise, there's no point going out on the pitch.
What is your earliest memory of playing football? Like, who was James Ward-Prowse when he was kicking it on the streets and in school matches? What's your earliest memory?
I think it was just kicking anything that was a round object in my mum and dad's house. I remember we'd have the odd balloon where I'd just be kicking it around, and funnily enough, they used to roll up like a pair of socks and just throw it, and I'd end up volleying it or heading it or something crazy in the living room, probably driving my mum mad, but my dad was loving it because he was just serving me volleys. So yeah, that was probably the earliest memories, and then I smashed a couple of ornaments along the way, but I'm sure every kid's done that.
I like the idea that you've become like the best free kick taker in the Premier League by hitting balloons around your front room. No,
I remember when I used to go in and say goodnight to my mum and dad, they'd just throw my mum used to throw a ball or a rolled up pair of socks and say, "On your head, son," and just little things like that kind of just make football enjoyable.
And when did you realise how good you were? Was there like one game or one moment where you were like, I'm much better than everyone else I'm playing with?
No, not really. No, I think I was just more about enjoying football. There was no particular moment. If I remember one, there was actually a free kick I scored in a tournament for my Sunday League team, and the local newspaper was covering the tournament and got a picture of me and my dad celebrating because I ran over to him to celebrate. So that was probably a nice moment when I was in the paper and I didn't know who I was. It was just he scored a goal and off I went.
What position did you play when you were younger?
Mainly centre midfield, but I had a spell at right back and a little bit of centre back actually, if you can believe it. Yeah, I'm not the typical big brave centre half, but I did a job there for my team, more of the ball playing centre back. But I think playing different positions definitely helped me along my development in terms of my game understanding and what was required.
Okay, next I want to talk about resilience. So have you ever had any setbacks, and if you have, how did you get over them? I'm talking about when you were younger.
There was an instance where the club gave some contracts out to a few of the lads when we were, I think, around 12, which would take them to 16, but I didn't end up getting my contract, and it was a bit of a crossroads for me. And I remember sitting down with my mum and dad, and they told me to just go out and work harder more than ever. And I managed to work harder, and I ended up getting that contract, and then my pro soon after that. So that's taken me along in my journey, even to when I'm in the senior team. And I've used that experience to my gain a lot in my career.
Love that. So you obviously go for a lot as a young player. So what was that eventually like when you eventually got signed? Did it feel like everything was worth it? All those little bumps to get you there, it was worth it?
Yeah, it was a reward for sure, and it showed me that with hard work and like the belief, the resilience, that you can achieve what you want to achieve. And in a football career, and I think in life, it's never going to be straightforward and everything's on the rise. You are going to have setbacks, you are going to have injuries and difficult times, and you have to ensure that you maintain that belief in yourself to get through it.
What is the key that you'd say to standing out is to a scout or to a club? Is there something that you can do that can help you stand out?
I think every player has different qualities, and I was never the player to take on 5 players with a step over and a bit of speed. That wasn't my quality. Mine was more the passing and the shooting and maybe a bit of my game understanding, and I think that was my main quality. So I think to play to your strengths, everybody's got different strengths, and it's important that you show that every time that you go out on the pitch.
Did you ever play with a mindset of like, I really want to get scouted today, or like next game I really need to try hard, or was it more just like, I'm going to enjoy my football, do my thing, and if it happens, it happens?
Yeah, I don't think you can put that pressure on yourself, especially as young players. The most important thing was for me anyway, that the last message that my mum and dad would give me was to just go out and enjoy it. And that was the base of my training sessions. Enjoyed the hard work and grafting for what you wanted. So I never wanted to put that pressure on myself to impress anybody. I was just there because I was enjoying it. If I was scouted, then brilliant.
Just with nutrition, when were you younger, what sort of things did you focus on eating? Did you have a strict diet, or did you just eat whatever you wanted because you were young?
I think it's difficult because as a young person, let alone footballer, you want to enjoy and live as a kid. You are going to have a McDonald's here and there. You are going to have bad foods, and that's all part of growing up. So nutrition didn't really hit me until maybe 14, 15, 16, where I took it a little bit more seriously. But even now to this day, there's nothing wrong with a fish and chips after a game and you've won, or if you lost, if you want to drown your sorrows. But no, I think it's just about having the right balance, and you hear all the time, everything in moderation, and I think that's a really important thing to remember.
Okay, and our last one is hard work. What do academy players have that other players don't, which you think sets them apart?
I think that's a good question. I think obviously there's a level of quality for sure, but I think it's very important, especially in a team game, that you need players that work hard for each other. So I think that work rate is probably the difference. Doing the extra things that, as you get older, that can make the difference between making that next step and not, by working that extra bit harder on a weakness in your game, I think can make the difference between you going through the age groups and maybe drifting away.
You touched on about how important it is to just enjoy the game. Obviously, a lot of players dream of becoming a pro, but it's so important, isn't it, not to put that pressure on yourself, like we've already spoken about, and just enjoy it. Would you say that's a really key thing? Yeah,
I think pressure isn't always a good thing, and especially as a young player, I think pressure can do, difficult things to you. And I've certainly can speak from my own experiences that my best football comes from when I'm happy and I'm just playing for the love of the game. And there's difficult times in your career, and you kind of have to take yourself back to, well, what made me successful? And every time I look back, it's about just having that enjoyment, and that, I'm lucky to be playing football. That's what gives me that drive.
And how much did you used to train in your own spare time to improve the sort of weaknesses in your game?
Yeah, quite a bit, to be fair. I remember when we were younger, we'd have maybe a couple of weeks off over Christmas in the academy, and my dad would always, not force me, but he'd suggest on the slide to go out for a run on Christmas Day, because he said that's a sacrifice that you'll have to make in years to come if you want to become a professional footballer. And I felt good coming back from Christmas Day, knowing from my Christmas Day run, knowing that I'd done something extra, done that extra little bit of push, and I enjoyed my Christmas dinner after that. Anyway.
Sweet, James, you've given us so many great answers today, so many positive things. But one final question: what does it take to go pro? If you had to just put it down to one thing, all the things we've spoken about, all the things that you've learned throughout the years, if you had to pick one thing to try and tell our readers and the viewers of this video what they can do, what would you say that is?
For me, it would be hard work. That's something that I've based my career around, really, in the way that I like to play. I've seen a lot of players over the years that have been really talented, but maybe just haven't had that hard work and that desire to improve and to be better, and they've been satisfied with where they are. And I think that hard work gets you a long way, and I think that's a big quality that a lot of coaches and a lot of scouts will be looking to add to their respective teams.